Oh, 8:01.
Hi.
8:01. 1 minute.
Hello, everybody.
We made it right on the nose every time.
Oh, that's so funny.
Forgive us. Well, forgive me. It was me, Wendy. Wendy was ready. I wasn't.
I know. Actually, while I was waiting for you to come online, I was enjoying some new music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it?
Well, the one I was just listening to, wait a second, I got to flip it. I got to put my glasses back on so I can read it. But the one I was just listening to is Tom Kenyon, Calling of the Angels. And right before that, I was listening to a couple of girls. They're called Rising Appalachia. They're really good. Yeah.
Those names sound familiar, but I'm terrible. Unless it's like the Beatles or the Stones or the Who.
Well, this is just all the stuff that
I can't recognize who is who. I'm terrible. But I can't remember a movie. Like, I'll have seen a movie yesterday, and you'll see what movie was. I'm like, I don't remember. I can't remember that.
But you know how it made you feel, right?
Yeah, right. That I remember, but
I get that. I get that. I didn't remember. I had to look at them, and I just listened to them. But the one song was about synchronicity. I really liked it. You might like it.
Well, send them to me because maybe they'll work for
Butterfly. Yeah.
You know, those songs, they'll come to me, and I'm like, I know we're gonna use this for Butterfly, and sure enough, next time, bam, there it comes. And there was those ones for you I had lined up last time, and then you had to leave early, and I'm like, wow, that never happened before. That it didn't play out, but you know, it wasn't meant to, I guess.
There you go.
All right. It's raining here again.
Yeah.
So if I fall asleep or don't come back from the healing session, you'll know why. There's nothing more relaxing and soothing to me than the sound of rain.
I know, I love it.
I was just out on the back porch with my tea, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm going, oh, I gotta go in. Not that I don't love this, but there's something about the rain. So, okay. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Max. How are you? Happy to see you. Tonight's topic is soul groups.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever that might mean.
We're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh. It's always... I know we've said this before, but what I really enjoy about these explorations is the revealing of more layers underneath. Mm-hmm. It seems like we have an understanding, and then we'll ask Source a question, and then they'll give us an answer that makes you go, oh, there's more to that.
Right. It's just that's why I said so many times, I'm just like, what? Because I think I know the answer some of the time. You know? It's like, well, I think I know that answer. And then you'll say something, and I'll be like, what?
Yeah. It's pretty darn cool. Hello, Diane. Hello, Lisa. You're back. Yay. All of you are back. I don't see anybody new on here yet.
But hey, guys, let me know how the echoes are. I'm doing something new. I have my headphones in, so my speakers aren't on. And let me know if you continue to have any issues with echoes.
The feedback, yeah.
The feedback, yeah, because I think this will solve the problem.
Yeah, should. And you just look like you got like funky earrings on.
Long ones.
He's rocking those earrings, those earbuds. Okay, so YouTube people that don't know us, although I'd like to think you kind of get to know us, watching us on here. A friend of mine, I was on the phone with a friend of mine. I hadn't seen her in a while, so we were chatting, and she said, "Yeah, I was watching you on the YouTube," and she said it was so weird to not be able to interact because you're interacting with each other, and I couldn't, like, yeah, that would be a little strange, especially with somebody that you know that you are accustomed to, dialoguing with. So, anyways, so those of you that know us, hello and love and hugs to you. And those of you that don't, love and hugs to you too. And what we're going to do, as we always do, is we explore some metaphysical topic, tonight's topic being soul groups. But first, we'll have a healing transmission from on high that we all are blessed to experience, and there's nothing you need to do except allow it. I will go off camera just because I can and I want to. And then what I do is I say a prayer to align myself, to center myself, to be prepared. And then it comes. Although it's already coming, it always, it's there, it's always there. And you guys and me get to receive it. And it flows because this is life force energy. This is the energy that the universe is made of, perhaps kind of concentrated and what do you call it? Tweaked to work with you specifically. You're going to experience it however you need to experience it. And it's not going to be the same way as anybody else on the call is, or anybody else on YouTube watching us later it will. And yes, you on YouTube watching it later, you'll still receive it. It may be different than when you're on the call, because even like how you receive it now, and if you did it tomorrow, it's going to be different.
Right.
It's different for me. It's different for Wendy all the time. So I don't know that there's really any way to predict. And why do we need to? We'll just let it
just
happen.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
To enjoy it for whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want you to be comfortable. We'd like you to be in a space where you're not interrupted.
Right.
Close
your eyes.
Yeah, close your eyes. Don't answer the phone. Don't watch TV. Don't, maybe pet your dog or whatever. That's kind of a soothing thing.
Yeah. Call them in. Call all your loved ones in that, they're in the house and not in the house. Just ask them to come be with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And amazingly, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have so much yet to learn. And even though, science and religion, or, spirituality, whatever you want to call it, are aligning more and more. They don't always necessarily acknowledge that they're aligning with one another, but they are. And these mysteries of the universe are still weird. We just have the tip of the iceberg, but these things work. It's amazing the things that work. It's just mind-boggling, really.
It's beautiful.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So if you're on the call live, so this doesn't apply to you YouTube people, on the right side of your screen, I'm sure you've noticed by now that there's a chat. There's chat capacity. So we want to encourage you, invite you to post your questions, your comments. If you have any questions about the healing, post them quick now before we get started on that. And then any questions on soul groups or anything else that comes to mind. And don't be afraid to ask me to clarify something. I'm doing the best I can to translate the information that comes through into words that most people are going to understand. I try to use terms that are, pretty common. But, I have my own way of communicating, and you have your own way of receiving information. So it might be confusing to you, and ask, because if it's confusing to you, it's probably confusing to somebody else as well.
Right.
So they will appreciate for clarification, and I won't be offended. I do get stumped sometimes because I'm like, I don't know how else to say it, but I try. I try. And what else? I can't think of anything at the moment.
I can't think of anything either. I think you covered I think you covered everything.
All right.
So let's go.
Yeah. So lovely Wendy here is really who will be communicating with you on the chat room.
Right.
But she'll holler out to me. And she understands me pretty well. So
most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to go, huh?
Yeah. Well, so do I. Okay. All right. Let's go. What time is it? 8:11. Definitely time to go. Okay. So as I said, I'm going off screen, so you won't see me. Okay. You'll see my lovely desk. Hello.
Hi. Come back, everybody.
All right. Well, while people are recovering, is Shannon by chance on? She's probably traveling.
Yeah, probably, but I'll take a quick peek here.
Okay. Anybody else that's on that has my landline number, which I'm not going to give out. But if you have it, I'd like if tell Wendy that you've got it, and I want somebody to call me because there is something going on which we need to all protect ourselves from. And I want to bring a caller. I want to bring a special guest on, and we're having difficulty technically for how to do that. So I thought I'd test to see if somebody.
Shannon's on.
Okay, Shannon, remember I called you for my landline that time? Do you still have that number? I'd like you to call me on the landline, and I'm going to put you on speakerphone. And then I want the rest of you guys to tell us how clearly you can hear her. Because if that works, then I've got a special guest that'll be coming on soon because we can do it that way. I hope you all don't mind.
And Shannon, if you don't remember, message me on Facebook and I'll private message it to you.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So while we're waiting, I have to tell you, I had the strangest experience. Matter of fact, I came back a little early, and I had to take myself. Well, I let this process go, but then I had to come out. But I felt like I was on a tilt-a-whirl. Like it started off. I went on a retreat, as you know, it was just an overnight retreat, and we did a meditation. And this lady always starts her meditations with you imagining that you're a pebble and you go down in the bottom of a lake, and you're the pebble. And usually she'll walk you through various stuff, but it doesn't matter about the meditation except for that I started off being the pebble. And then I had this other weird experience, and the next thing I knew, I felt like I was on a tilt-a-whirl. Like seriously, like I don't know if my body was actually moving. I don't think it was, but I felt like it was, and I was going around and around and around and around and around. And then then it finally stopped, and I just kind of breathed through it, and I was like, okay, I got to take a break from it.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It didn't feel scary or bad or anything. It was just like, that is a new sensation that I can add to the experiences of this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very cool. So you are clearly moving along. Remember a little while ago you had to go on a plateau, you had to kind of for a while. They are definitely opening you up more and more. There have been times when stuff happens to my body that I'm like, oh my gosh. I just, and that's part of the reason I go off screen, because I never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You don't want to be floundering around on screen. But sometimes, and I'm like, they'll arch my back in my head, and I'm like, this is really not comfortable. Like, oh my goodness. So there are a lot. Yeah. Oh, very cool.
Kathy said that she saw her mom.
Hi, Carol. Oh.
And Kathy said she saw her mom. She's been trying to contact her, and she heard birds chirping. And then another comment is that energy felt very profound, grounding energy. Then a vision as if I was seeing Drano pouring and flowing down, flowing through, like dropping a colored dye in water. That's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. So Shannon hasn't called you yet, and I am going to message her here.
Did she respond at all that she would?
No, that's why I'm going to send a message to her.
She might, maybe she's on, but not on, you know what I mean? Maybe she.
Yeah. Well, it says web. It doesn't say, so I'm just going to say, are you there? Otherwise, you know what I can do is I can call you and just mute myself here.
Oh, well, that's true.
Why don't I do that?
Okay. All right, we'll try. All right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, everybody, we're doing an experiment. I know you'll forgive me, especially when we have the guest come on. Then you'll be like, ooh, that was worth it. So, okay, start thinking about your questions for soul groups. That's Wendy. Hold on. Okay, talk.
Okay, all right, I'm talking. Hi, guys. How are you?
Can you guys hear her?
I can make a comment whether or not you can hear me. My computer's freaking out here. It's like, unmute now! Unmute now! So,
I wonder, is it sensing?
On the phone?
Is it sensing that you're talking, you think?
Oh, when I mute myself here and I make any kind of a noise, it'll give me a message. Unmute.
Huh. That's interesting.
So, yeah. So,
okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, bye. Okay, so that was that. Soul groups, questions, and please comment. Let us know how that sounded. I know it's doubtful that it sounded great, but if you could understand her.
Oh, they can hear me.
They did?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. I saw my mom. Oh, that's okay. That was.
Am I still on the phone?
No. No, we hung up.
I can hear myself now.
No, you're not on the phone anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, we've got a lot of questions here. Some of them are mine and some of them are not mine. So that's pretty great. I thought what we should start with, one of my favorite things is to define a soul group, because as I was reading all my different articles, like when I'm doing my research, there's a lot of different definitions.
A soul group are beings. A soul group is permeable, not necessarily permanent. However, it's beings aligned together for a common purpose, a common goal. Not all beings in that group will be 100%. Some beings will be 100% that is their focus, whatever that group is. So say it is working with children, or planting seeds, or nursing, or doctoring, or digging wells. I mean, I'm using earthly chores, tasks, but whatever would be comparable. Okay. And I've seen soul groups, like when I'm working one-on-one with people. I remember, God, there was this one woman. Her grandmother came through. First of all, she had a huge personality shift, which is pretty cool. But the woman here was doing, was she nursing? I forget what she was doing, what her career was. But her grandmother had that same career. And in her soul group, when she had left here, she was in that group and still working on that, in that field, and helping her granddaughter here, anyway. So I've seen that. We've all seen that. So what was I saying? So some beings are 100% in it, like that's 100% their focus. I mean, aside from their personal life, when you have a personal life, you continue to have a personal, private life, as well as your career and social and other aspects of your life. But so your working life is maybe 100% in that particular soul group. But there are beings within that group that maybe they're in that soul group and also in some others as far as their work goes. So you can be in many groups. So you can have your group of horsemanship, or sewing bee, or whatever, that you have some kind of common thing. So it's like it's like meetup groups.
I like that.
Okay. And then again, and like anything else, there are going to be different levels of skill, of experience within that group. So there are going to be some that maybe have been, that are better at it, that have been doing it longer, that are there to teach others. Some that are brand new, or okay.
So it's safe to say then that we can switch soul groups as we evolve and they evolve, and it's kind of like soulmates. Some of them come in and out of our lives. Okay.
Yeah. And again, when you think about eternal life, Would you really want to be a cobbler forever and ever and ever and ever and ever?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
That
it
doesn't
would be
sound
nice
good to me at all.
try to do different things, you know. We here, we're accustomed to a finite amount of time, quote, time. So, you know, and even here on Earth, most people don't have the same career the whole time. So
Right.
you imagine, you know, in eternity, no, it's not going to happen. Maybe
Okay.
but not me.
So let's see. Are our soul groups just beings on Earth, or are some of them on other planets or other dimensions?
Yes, yes. You have soul group. Think of you're in a soul group, and this is you're having this earthly manifestation as part of that. So you are doing something here, and maybe many of you are doing something here at the same time, but you are part of your soul group is a soul group that transcends Earth. So that it's manifesting here is part of it, is not the whole thing. It's not that, it's a piece of it. It's not it. It doesn't entail the whole thing because it's your soul. And I have to share this. There's a woman, I don't know if she's ever been on this call, but we've been working together, you know, several times. And one time I saw her soul group, not her soul. It was, well, no, not her soul group. It was more her very private soulmates, her clique, her group, her buddies. And as I'm looking at all of them, I was like, I couldn't, the only way to explain it, I said, you know that scene in Star Trek or Star Wars where they're in the bar and every being is completely different. They all look so different from one another, tall, short, different, you know, different configurations of their skin and
anatomy.
Yeah. Just such a variety of beings. And I'm like, that's you. I'm like, to make it more, you know, earthly, it's almost like Dorothy and the Lion and the Tin Man and the, you know, I mean, they're just so different from one another, but they were so tight, so close. And she was the only one that's here on Earth at this time, but they are her group. And so in that session, it was them, you know, coming forth and being like, hey, you remember us? You know, and it's for her to kind of go, oh yeah, and remember them. So
that's awesome.
It transcends Earth. Remember, we're talking soul.
Right.
Okay.
So that kind of answers part of the next question that I have.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask it anyway because, and I'm just, you know, why I want to ask this is because a lot of times I do past life readings and people, friends and family keep coming up that I know now. But so do we always interact with a lot of the same people? And if so, how does that benefit us?
I don't know that benefit is the right word. It's more that there's love between you. And so you continue. You know, you love someone, you don't chop them out of your life. You know, you continue to interact with them. You might not see them for a millennia or two, or an experience or two, but they continue to be part of your life. Yes, there's a benefit, but really, it's not about benefit. It's about love.
Okay.
You're connecting because you love each other, and so you want to continue that relationship.
And what are some signs that someone is from your soul group?
You feel happy with them. You feel giddy. You don't need to say so much. You're able to fight, you know, get in an argument and still love each other, you know?
Yeah.
And remember, sometimes, you know, your soulmates, so the members of your soul group, most of them are not here on Earth with you. So you may sometimes notice, maybe you're on a walk or you're sitting by yourself, you know, you're lying in bed, sitting on the couch, whatever, and feel a presence, you know, be aware. That's, you know, can often be one of them going, hey, what you doing? That's where I was. Well,
I
you're
love
down
the
there,
idea of
you know,
that.
shoveling snow, mowing the lawn, whatever.
My favorite job.
Yeah.
All right. So how many different levels of soul groups are there?
Levels?
Yeah. Okay. Like one of the things that I read today made a reference to like a primary soul group and a secondary soul group. And I thought, well, if there's primary and secondary, could there be tertiary?
Yes. As we said earlier, like one of the first questions, that you can be involved with many groups. You know, really using Meetup as an analogy is perfect, because you can join Meetup and you can join 1,000 groups, join just one. You can be really active in one or two and kind of just monitoring others and seeing them once in a while, or you can be active in a whole bunch, you know, and you can join as many as you want. There's no limit to how many. You're gonna five is the 5 primary. Anything beyond that, they're saying you're like spread too thin.
Okay. And is there a limit to the number of people that would be in these groups?
No.
No? Okay. Are spirit guides included in our soul group?
Typically, no. They when you go to the meetup, when you go to the gathering, you know, they're there with you, but you are, you know, meeting with other people that are in that group, and they all bring their guides. Again, we have many different levels of guides. So you could have guides that are specifically assigned to you to help you with the work that you're doing in that soul group, in that, you know, task. But those are situational guides. You know, we have permanent guides that are you know, with us through our. Are they with us through eternity? Yeah, sometimes, yeah, forever and ever and ever.
Wow.
So they're beyond that, you know. They have their own kind of groups. Hold on. I had a client here the other day. This reminds me of that. Is that pertinent? It feels pertinent. There was a client here the other day, and she had some things, you know, the last session we had, we were working on fear. She's like, Karen, I've got this fear, I want to work. So we worked through it, and I'm like, what we did that last time, I'm like, that's going to get you this far, and then an X amount of time, whatever it was. So last week, the other day, was the next step. And this being showed up, and he had been holding these pieces of herself that had released in those traumas. He'd been holding them for her, and it was time, you know, to. So in this session that we had, she was going to get them back. And so as that's happening, you know, his demeanor, his persona was very serious, very kind of heavy, very, you know, he's carrying dark stuff, you know, and you know, that's all good. You know, you have to be a pretty powerful, loving being to have that for a job, you know.
Right.
And so after we were done working, I glanced over at him, and he's, you know, he's just like a nice guy, like, you know, fun guy, kind of, you know, so that demeanor kind of had fallen away, and then he was just, you know, like a guy you'd want to hang out with. And so you know, I was like, oh, how cool is that? So, you know, he was off the clock now, so to speak. And so same, you know, our guides, yes, they're with us, you know, but they do get to get off the clock. They're, you know, I mean, who wants to be stuck with me forever? I mean, you know, I'm not that interesting.
I have a feeling your guide enjoys it.
Oh, I'm sure they do. And I'm sure they go home and tell all kinds of stories. You're not going to believe what that woman did today.
All right.
It's okay. I don't, you know, it's all right. It is what it is. So besides, I have stories to say about what they do. I'm like, you would not believe what they made me do. Oh.
All right. I have a question that I hope it's not too far off track, but besides the obvious idea of a soul group where we're talking about multiple people, couldn't each individual be a soul group? Meaning there's an oversoul, there's a higher self, there's a multidimensional seed self, past, present, future. So I feel like I am many beings in one.
But you're all you.
Right.
There are many aspects to you, but it's still you, like a diamond, like a multifaceted diamond.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are many, many facets, but it's all that one diamond. And
Okay.
I think we kind of do ourselves, it would be wholeness is what we're striving for.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like, yeah, if we start using that kind of language and referring to ourselves that way, it gets to, it's not a
Okay.
good way. It's not a good way to think of yourself.
Okay. Yeah, and I probably wouldn't. Like I said, that, well, like, you know, I do. I read a lot of stuff leading up to this, and I read something that was like that, and I was like, wow, that is weird.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
I kind of just.
I understand where the question is coming from, but again, it's a disservice to use that kind of language.
I got it.
Okay, for
Okay.
yourself.
All right. Well, I asked while you were talking if there was any other questions, because that was my last one. And I didn't get a question, but I got a comment.
Okay.
During the meditation, I saw two warrior armored faces in a face-off. One seemed like Archangel Michael. What was going on?
There was some rebellion going on in this person. Is rebellion the right word? Resistance. So it was again, you know, our ego can get in the way, our understanding, and it's all in love, even though maybe it felt like a face-off kind of a thing, but still it's done in love, you know, of standing in your truth and standing in your understanding, and sometimes you butt heads, you know,
Right.
but you gotta butt heads sometimes to get growth. That experience, though, is not from this existence, not from this existence here on Earth. It's from some other. It's from another experience, not this one.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Which is all happening at the same time. There is no time. Okay.
All right. Well, I asked
you a question earlier down the screen. I think was Diane maybe that had posted. Oh, wrong.
about do our soul groups change? I think mine have changed several times.
Oh, is that what her question was?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we answered that one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I got them all.
Okay, well,
oh, here's one. Here's one.
Okay.
Is it possible for someone to meet a person on Earth that is of the exact same soul? So you're talking about a split soul? Split soul?
Soul, not soul group.
Right. It says, is it possible for someone to meet a person on Earth that is of the exact same soul? That's our beautiful Shannon.
It's possible. It doesn't happen very much, very often. We are all, of course, part of the collective universe, but we are individual. I think we talked about this before. It's an ocean. We're all part of the ocean, but yet we're each a drop. And sometimes you're hanging out with, certain drops. If you're hanging out in Antarctica, the Antarctic region, your drops, you guys are kind of cold. If you're hanging out by, I don't know, Cuba or Hawaii or something, it's warmer, and maybe some is less saltier than others, but it's still all part of one magnificent ocean. And so sometimes it feels, your drop may feel very, very similar to you. Feels very much like you've had the same experiences, same algae exposure. So usually it's someone who has, maybe been to the same parts of the ocean as you, just, that you have that similarity, and there's something to learn coming together, create something, you as a benefit for both of you. But usually it's not the same soul. Again, it happens, but not very often. Not anywhere near as much as this other, the familiar drop.
When walk-ins occur, are these souls that come through from our soul group?
Boy, walk-ins is walk-ins is a topic in and of itself. There are a wide range of walk-ins, some of higher good than others. And obviously varying degrees. A member of your soul group can, if this is from your soul group, so say you are, let's again use nursing as the example. So you're doing your nursing thing, and you're with a patient, and there's something for you to learn, or maybe you need some help. So a member of your soul group can come and assist you and kind of work with you to help you to get better at whatever skill it is that you're learning, or whatever whatever's going on. And again, that's just an example. But they're not going to take over your consciousness. They're going to be helping you. But again, walk-ins is a topic in and of itself that we can explore sometime. Add it to the list. I'll have to write it.
I love how the list just, keeps growing.
Yeah.
Without even really trying, it just does. I love it.
Yeah. And even though sometimes they feel like very similar to another topic that we've done, but we still get new information all the time, don't we?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. And some of it's repeated, but I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, to me, it doesn't. Well, no, I take it back. No, sometimes I do feel like I'm repeating myself, but then I also feel like there's another layer to it, and another energy to it. And like anything else, sometimes you have to hear something several times for it really clicks in your head.
That's what I'm saying. That's what, in a roundabout way, that's what I'm saying. Is sometimes it's repeated, but I think it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I think that, sometimes we ask different questions and it's the same answer, but, it comes up because we thought we got it the first time and we didn't. So it's better to keep asking and understand.
Right. But, but even so, I like I'm trying to think, there's something that comes up about, about it being about love or something. There's something, I think that because we didn't understand the how far that answer permeates to how in all the ways that it is the answer. So when we ask another question, you get that same answer. They so it affects this too. Oh, and it goes there. You know, because you just answer to one question,
right?
Then we're not always getting all the many ways in which we get affected. Which
it's a beautiful thing.
So many that is in so many areas of our existence. So okay, so we're at 8:52, so we're about out of time.
And we're done. We're done.
And so if there aren't any more questions, then we'll say good night to everyone.
Yes.
And Wednesday is on. Hold on. Wednesday is understanding ourselves. So inner exploration.
Oh my gosh, you guys, please come up with some questions.
Who am I? Who is that down in that well of myself?
That's right.
The next Sunday, so a week from tonight, is true inspiration or vain imaginings.
Oh.
So, all right. So did we get any other feedback regarding people?
They said they could hear me loud and clear.
Okay. And that was more than one person responded?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yay! Then we'll do it that way. Okay. Shoot. That means I got to switch things around.
You're welcome.
That's okay. You all will be really happy.
Good.
And angry. You'll be angry. Because I'm sure angry about this, but we need to be. So,
all right.
Okay. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Love you.
Hugs. See you next time. No, wrong mouse. Gotta get this mouse. Okay. I am so used to that one. Good night.